winds of over 140 miles per hour are now on portions of Jamaica. We're seeing some ham radio reports of damage, wind damage occurring, storm surge occurring in this onshore flow here, where we're seeing these southerly and southeasterly winds into the southern coast of Jamaica. We're expecting to see storm surge of 6 to 9 feet above normal tide levels, with dangerous breaking waves and damaging wave action on top of that. So very dangerous conditions ongoing now in Jamaica, and they are going to continue for the next several hours. Everybody's going to want to stay sheltered in place through the rest of the day, through tonight. As you can also see, Beryl is centered about 265 miles to the east-southeast of Grand Cayman. So the Cayman Islands are sort of next in line for seeing significant impacts. And again, Beryl's moving west-northwest pretty quickly at about 18 miles per hour. So if we look at the forecast, where is it headed next? Beryl is going to be moving west-northwestward, again, across the Caribbean, with those hurricane and tropical storm force winds beginning to affect the Cayman Islands later this afternoon and tonight, where hurricane warnings are in effect for Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Grand Cayman. Early Friday morning or overnight Thursday night into Friday morning, we have a hurricane warning that's in effect from Puerto Costa Maya up to Cancun, a hurricane watch in effect down to Chetumal and north to Cabo Catoche, with tropical storm warnings in effect for those areas under the hurricane watch as well. So hurricane conditions are expected somewhere in this area Thursday night into Friday morning. Beyond that, Beryl is expected to weaken as it moves over land to a tropical storm, but then expected to re-intensify and be at or near hurricane strength as we go from Saturday into Sunday and Monday, as it slows and begins to turn more northwestward, bringing the center of the system close to northeastern Mexico or deep south Texas Sunday into Monday. So we could very well see impacts there. If we were going to have the timing for those impacts, we would be looking at the most likely time of arrival of sustained tropical storm force winds Sunday during the day sometime in that region. So we could be looking at watches being issued for portions of northeastern Mexico or Texas later tomorrow night or early on Friday.
activaron los grupos de trabajo temporal. Tal como aseveraron los pronósticos, desde el comienzo dijeron a aquellas personas que residen en zonas bajas proclives a inundaciones por penetración del mar o intensas lluvias. Se le aseguró a la población los productos alimenticios de la canasta básica y recursos para la cocción de los alimentos ante posibles afectaciones del servicio eléctrico. Aquejadas con algún tipo de enfermedad, en tanto embarazadas en término y pacientes nefróticos fueron trasladados temporalmente hasta el hospital clínico. Rachas de hasta 80 kilómetros por hora se han registrado en la estación del huracán en los municipios de Pilón, Niquero, Medialuna, Campechuela y Manzanillo, ubicados en la costa sur de la provincia de Gran Manzanillo.
About the key messages. First, we're most concerned about Jamaica, where we're expecting devastating hurricane force winds, life-threatening storm surge, and damaging waves to overspread the island in the next few hours and continue into this evening. Everybody in Jamaica needs to be in their safe place and be prepared to stay there for at least the next 12 hours. We're Mike Brennan here at the National Hurricane Center. It's just after 5 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday, July 3rd, coming on. We can see the eye actually becoming a little better defined in satellite imagery just in the last hour or two, centered just south of the coast of Jamaica with the northern eye wall on land over southern portions of the island. The center of Beryl right now is 65 miles west-southwest of Kingston, so passing by to the south of Kingston a couple hours ago, but multiple life-threatening hazards playing out across Jamaica now. The core winds of a Category 4 hurricane with maximum sustained winds of over 140 miles per hour are now on portions of Jamaica. We're seeing some ham radio reports of damage, wind damage occurring, storm surge occurring in this onshore flow here, where we're seeing these southerly and southeasterly winds into the southern coast of Jamaica. We're expecting to see storm surge of 6 to 9 feet above normal tide levels with dangerous breaking waves and damaging wave action on top of that. So very dangerous conditions ongoing now in Jamaica, and they're going to continue for the next several hours. Everybody's going to want to stay sheltered in place through the rest of the day, through tonight. As you can also see, Beryl is centered about 265 miles to the east-southeast of Grand Cayman. So the Cayman Islands are sort of next in line for seeing significant impacts. And again, Beryl's moving west-northwest pretty quickly at about 18 miles per hour. So if we look at the forecast, where is it headed next? Beryl is going to be moving west-northwestward, again, across the Caribbean with those hurricane and tropical storm force winds beginning to affect the Cayman Islands later this afternoon and tonight, where hurricane warnings are in effect for Little Cayman, Cayman Brac, and Grand Cayman. Early Friday morning or overnight Thursday night into Friday morning, we have a hurricane warning that's in effect from Puerto Costa Maya up to Cancun, a hurricane watch in effect down to Chetumal and north to Cabo Catoche, with tropical storm warnings in effect for those areas under the hurricane watch as well. So hurricane conditions are expected somewhere in this area Thursday night to Friday morning. Beyond that, Beryl is expected to weaken as it moves overland to a tropical storm, but then expected to re-intensify and be at or near hurricane strength as we go from Saturday into Sunday and Monday as it slows and begins to turn more northwestward, bringing the center of the system close to northeastern Mexico or deep south Texas Sunday into Monday. So we could very well see impacts there. If we were going to have the timing for those impacts, we would be looking at the most likely time of arrival of sustained tropical storm force winds Sunday during the day sometime in that region. So we could be looking at watches being issued for portions of northeastern Mexico or Texas later tomorrow night or early on Friday.
Activaron los grupos de trabajo temporal. Tal como aseveraron los pronósticos, desde el comienzo dijeron aquellas personas que residen en zonas bajas proclives a inundaciones por penetración del mar o intensas lluvias. Se le aseguró a la población los productos alimenticios de la canasta básica y recursos para la cocción de los alimentos ante posibles afectaciones del servicio eléctrico. Aquejadas con algún tipo de enfermedad, en tanto embarazadas en término y pacientes nefróticos fueron trasladados temporalmente hasta el hospital clínico. Rachas de hasta 80 kilómetros por hora se han registrado en la estación del huracán en los municipios de Pilón, Niquero, Medialuna, Campechuela y Manzanillo, ubicados en la costa sur de la provincia de Gran Manzanillo.
Beryl is bearing down on the Cayman Islands with strong winds, dangerous storm surge, and damaging waves. The center of the storm is by Grand Cayman Island, and it weakened a little while ago to a Category 3 with 125-mile-per-hour winds, about 250 kilometers an hour. Forecasters warn it's still very dangerous. So far, Beryl has killed at least 8 people across the Caribbean. Hours ago, the hurricane pounded southern Jamaica with slightly stronger winds, torrential rains, and storm surge of about 9 feet. Storm knocked down trees and power lines and damaged buildings. Earlier, CNN's Rafael Romo filed this report from Kingston.
It's hard to remain standing because the winds are just very, very powerful. And this is not over yet. We have seen how lots of debris have been blown off in the last few minutes, and also how the roof was blown off on top of that building right there. And the big danger is that there's a possibility of the ocean getting into the street because the storm surge is supposed to rise at least 10 feet.
Hurricane Beryl is due to make landfall on Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula on Friday. A long-range forecast suggests it could hit Texas, and some officials there are already taking precautions, handing out sandbags. Chad Myers brings us the latest.
Right, the center of the eye actually did not make landfall along the southern coast of Jamaica, but the eye wall itself did, and the eye wall has where all the winds are, has all the damage involved. So we know that there were winds there somewhere around 160 kilometers per hour, at least on land. Not very many reporting stations out there to really get an idea of what happened, but we do know that there's been an awful lot of rainfall along the mountains, even some spots still going to pick up another 100 millimeters, maybe 150 millimeters of rain before it finally moves away. Taking a look at the European ensemble. Now, sometimes we make these all different colors because they're all different models. This is actually one model, but changing just a few different things in the model to make it react differently. The reason why they do that is to try to find where the center of the consensus is. So yes, there are some to the right that move on up to the north into parts of the Gulf of Mexico, and some to the left that go kind of squiggly and they all go the wrong way, just changing the wrong things in the model. But still, we get the same cone here. In the middle, we still get landfall here, likely as a Category 2 along the Yucatan Peninsula, and then somewhere up into northern Mexico or southern Texas. Now, overnight tonight, we are seeing an awful lot of wind and waves in the Grand Cayman Islands, from Cayman Brac all the way to Little Cayman and Grand Cayman itself. So we'll have to see what kind of damage that creates as the sun comes up tomorrow.
As a result, major cruise lines are changing course to keep passengers safe from the severe weather in the Caribbean. Ships in the fleets for Royal Caribbean, Carnival, Norwegian now have altered their routes. That includes Royal Caribbean's Icon of the Seas, the world's largest cruise ship. In separate statements, both Carnival and Royal Caribbean said the safety of their guests and crews are the most important things to consider given the severe weather there.
And Robert Pfeiffer is an American tourist who rode out the storm in Jamaica, and he joins me now from Ocho Rios. Thank you so much for joining us here. So just let me know sort of what you were seeing sort of outside your window.
You know, we just saw there's a lot of wind, the really heavy winds and rain. We're at Ocho Rios at the Sandals Resort, so a lot of waves coming in, you know, a lot of water. There's several trees that are down on the property, and I think the property did really good. You know, they boarded up all the windows and provided extra food and water for all the guests.
From what we were just seeing from our reporter, I mean, the winds just looked incredible. I mean, how scary is it, sort of both what you're seeing now, what you're hearing now, and sort of also that sense of foreboding that things could potentially get worse?
Well, you know, we're after being through it and seeing it, you know, it came in really hard and heavy, really quick. But, you know, now it seems like things are starting to calm down a little bit. I know they are talking about some more stuff picking back up. But, you know, right now it's you know, we feel safe. The resorts made us feel really safe, brought out food. You know, we got out, walked around in a little bit. There is a lot of trees down, a lot of limbs down, just debris kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I guess part of the danger might be if there's still more and more rain, that we could see landslides and other problems like that. I mean, you're sticking it out there. You're not. You didn't decide to head to a shelter. Why not?
No, you know, the resort that we're at Sandals, you know, they boarded everything up. they made us actually feel very safe here. They brought in extra food for everybody, extra water for everybody. So, we feel actually very safe here at the resort where we're at. We knew we couldn't leave. The airports are closed, so there's really wasn't much other place for us to go.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I just want to let the viewers know we're actually showing some of your video that you shot while you were walking around, as you said. So you just talked about the airport being closed. I mean, any sense of how long you'll be stranded there?
No, we haven't been told anything. We did talk to a couple of, I guess, people who work here at the resort. Biggest thing is tomorrow morning, once it's daylight, really assessing a bunch of the damage, seeing what all needs to be repaired and what needs to be done to get them back up and operational again.
Yeah, I guess sticking it out at a resort like that, you have a lot of advantages there. Having seen parts of the country, I expect you must be feeling for a lot of the people in much more fragile shelters who have been really hit by all those winds and possibly storm surge and so on elsewhere on the island.
Oh yes, definitely. We watched the news. We've been lucky we haven't lost any power, but so we've been able to watch and see other things that are going on in other places of around Jamaica. And I mean, we were definitely glad for the area that we were in, that we got the amount of damage we did see and not any worse.
Yeah, that's right. And in the meantime, sort of how is the mood there as people are trying to stick this out as best they can?
I'd say the mood is pretty good. Like I said, Sandals Resort, I feel like they've done really good. Keeping everybody, tried to keep everybody entertained, maybe their minds off of it. They had a buffet style lunch for everybody. They had a buffet style dinner. They really encouraged to go ahead and eat, and they kind of tried to keep everybody lively. They right during the main part of the storm, they was really encouraging people stay in your rooms or stay in the areas that they had all boarded up and prepared for everybody to stay in.
Yeah. Well, listen, you, as I understand it, are there with your wife for your 25th anniversary. This hurricane definitely. No, are you taking this in good spirits there?
Oh yeah, I'm here with my wife. We've been, like you said, married 25 years, so wasn't quite what we were planning on our anniversary, but we've spent a little more time together, and I think it's been good for us.
Well, there you go. Well, listen, want to wish you a happy anniversary, but on a more serious note, wish that you and everybody there are safe as you continue to ride out the storm. Robert Pfeiffer in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, thank you so much for speaking with us. Really appreciate it.
And north to Cabo Catoche, with tropical storm warnings in effect for those areas under the hurricane watch as well. So hurricane conditions are expected somewhere in this area Thursday night into Friday morning. Beyond that, Beryl is expected to weaken as it moves overland to a tropical storm, but then expected to re-intensify and be at or near hurricane strength as we go from Saturday into Sunday and Monday as it slows and begins to turn more northwestward, bringing the center of the system close to northeastern Mexico or deep south Texas Sunday into Monday. So we could very well see impacts there. If we were going to have the timing for those impacts, we would be looking at the most likely time of arrival of sustained tropical storm force winds Sunday during the day sometime in that region. So we could be looking at watches being issued for portions of northeastern Mexico or Texas later tomorrow night or early on Friday.
activaron los grupos de trabajo temporal. Tal como aseveraron los pronósticos, desde el comienzo dijeron a aquellas personas que residen en zonas bajas proclives a inundaciones por penetración del mar o intensas lluvias. Se le aseguró a la población los productos alimenticios de la canasta básica y recursos para la cocción de los alimentos ante posibles afectaciones del servicio eléctrico. Aquejadas con algún tipo de enfermedad, en tanto embarazadas en término
Wow, look at the waves coming in now. They're huge.